Be me. Perform breathing exercises for 5 minutes for maximum oxygen saturation. Clear my mind, only me versus the weight. Turn this song on in my headphones. https://www.youtube.com/watch v=fnoekzigby. Visualize myself lifting the weight to prime my CNS. Perform mock reps without weight to prepare my joints. Stare into the mirror reminding myself why I'm here. Remember my motivations. Grasp the weight securely with my powerful hands. Tense my body and exhale through the mouth. Scream and yell. I'm halfway up now but I'm starting to shake. People are watching me, I can't fail. Shout and scream louder. I can't give up. I understand if I fail now I'll never forgive myself. Contract my powerful back muscles and ass. The room starts to dim and my vision is fading. Keep pushing and complete the rep. Eva successfully hit my new deadlift PR. I reels the weight. The 5-pound dumbbell I've lifted hits the ground shaking the gym. Everyone is clapping. Someone asks if she can be my GF. People pick me up and raise me up into the air. I look down at the enormous 5-pound dumbbell on T-floor and realize Eva finally made it. This is what true power feels like, brothers. We're all going to make it. Be me, 28. 18 months ago I was abducted by aliens. Look fairly similar to the usual portrays but different. They're sort of humanoid but walk almost crouched, sort of hunchbacked. Skin is mottled and a grayish-green, arms skinny and long but with clear muscle definition, hips are wide, no apparent body fat, just a being made up of skin and bones and minimal muscle. Huge head with pitch black eyes about 3x the size of ours. On the first day a team of 15 of them examined me, molesting my body and prodding me all over with instruments, scraping samples off my being with what can only be called an alien scalpel. It seemed like an overly invasive physical, where one after another they'd have their way examining me, completely ignoring my pleas for them to fucking stop. Eventually when I had enough and lashed out, shoving one to the floor, I was finally acknowledged and addressed as a living thing. These fuckers communicate telepathically. It's so hard to describe, but it was like a feeling. Not even actual words. I could just see a vision of the one speaking inside my head, and I felt what their intentions were. I was a project. A guinea pig, a research topic. And yet they had zero ill intent. There was, of course, no obvious intention for them to ever put me back on Earth. But I just knew deep in my gut that I was not going to be harmed. They were genuinely curious. And so, after many months of testing I would eventually be given rewards for their findings. By confessing all I knew about Earth and being a human, I had worn my way to a 6-bedroom home, much more like an apartment or a mega suite. But my new home nonetheless. About 7 weeks ago I stopped communicating, began barely eating, barely moving, and I've refused to elaborate despite their desperate pleas for answers and persistent tests on me. The head scientist visited me today. He sat crouched across from me for a while and stared as I looked at the floor. After what seemed like an eternity, but more likely only about 10 minutes, he communicated. It was just a heartfelt sensation with a soft, almost blurred image of his face. Softness describes what he was conveying. Just pure softness and compassion. I looked up at him, the most movement I've displayed in weeks. His eyes widened, and the image of his face became more clear in my head. He seemed to be concerned, and what emotions he was communicating telepathically was curiosity. Not in the same frantic way from my first day, but just a genuine curiosity about what was wrong with me and a desire to make it better. I spoke aloud, for the first time in many months. A mate. I want a mate. Quietly, he nodded, seeming to understand. But I have to choose how she looks, and I am going to need one for every room of this house you have provided me. And that's the story of how I got a harem in space. Thanks for the Reddit gold, kind stranger. Be me, 19. Fat faggot. Start working at this IT job to save money for college. Overqualified for the job, so the actual job takes little effort and time. Feel jittery because I have nothing to do and feel depressed about how fat I am. At that point I was around 100 kilograms while being 180 centimeters. Office is on the 14th floor of a large building. Idea.jpg. Start going up the stairs when I come into work. Really hard but keep going. Slowly increase the amount of times I go up the stairs. A year later. Me, 20 and still working there. Look good now as I've shed roughly 25 kilograms and also started weightlifting and calisthenics 4 times per week. Go up the stairs 12 times a day, sometimes more, sometimes I do it twice at a time to make it more challenging. Known around the office as the stairs guy and am somewhat admired by my colleagues. No longer depressed. I love my stairs, pic related. Stairs saved my life and ends, what's stopping you from stair maxing? Good work Justin. It's a shame there isn't a sport like this already. You're like an autistic metronome. Good work. Have you tried being likable? They make good shoes. Justin might be the only California Asian that's not decked out in Adidas 24/7. Nice. Thanks Anon. Me. Napping in forest again. Roused from my slumber by loud crashing noise. TFW another tree fell on me. Noticed 2 trees by my head with J-hook shaped branches. Looks like my bench training is finna pay off. Grip log at comp width, plant my feet, set my arch and start pressing. Pretty as press, RPE 7.999995. Racket on the J-hook branches. MFW I realize I didn't wait for rack command. Branches snap. Log crushes my head killing me instantly. You can get it now. Memberships purchased after 1st of November are good for the entire next year. You got this Anon. I saw a fat mother and kid at the store today. Me. Coming home from UNI. Stop by a store to get slop. Get some pork, beans and tomatoes cause chili day. Go to checkout. Woman and child pulls up behind me. Not quite American fetus levels of fat but well above average fat in the cell entry. Look at what they are buying. Beer, frozen pizza, chips and Pepsi. Feels bad for kid cause used to be in a similar position. Hope he realizes what is happening before it's too late. Me. Buy cast iron dumbbells. Use them for a year plus. Paint coating is chipping, not a big deal. Sometimes it falls on my face when I work out. Today actually swallow some. Realize lead is only banned in household paints. Sure enough, products other than toys can legally have lead in the US. MFW probably been poisoning myself with lead when I thought I was doing something good for my health. How do I cope? Man, I should have gotten the rubber-coated ones. Don't get me started on the weird fetishistic side of it. Me. Have a nice dong. Women always pleasantly surprised. Maybe I should be offended about the surprised part kid. Whatever. Only bummed that I'm the circumcised. Restore foreskin off and on over the years. Never prepared for how gay the restoration community is. These dudes really like looking at dicks. The movement is overall a good thing, but it's hard to not notice that all discussion is being held by horny fags that want to see and show dick. Keep tugging, I guess. We're all gonna make it. Op isn't nearly as dumb as me. Me. Row about 120 kilometers a week. Decide to run the sim. Haven't ran a mile in 20 years. Mile 1 this gun BS. Hit the fucking wall harder than Senna at mile 13. Finish with the 6 hours pace group. By comparison, I can steady state erg 42 kilometers with a max heart rate of 130 BPM in around 4 hours. Legs are thrashed and I've called out of work the last 2 days.